the dynamics of this whole syndrome is that the chick that's beat up becomes weaker and weaker, cowers, is kind of afraid to even stand upright, and the female will always feed the chick that's more robust. And it's called the Cain and Abel syndrome. The feedings go on for about 5 to 8 minutes, sometimes maybe 12 minutes. The bigger chick is getting up to 30 or 40 pieces of food per feeding. The little one would get about 6 to 8 pieces. The last few days we've been worried a lot about whether the younger, smaller chick is going to survive or not. So we got our fingers crossed that little UD, we call him Underdog, is going to be okay.
You can now pay your 20 Ghana Cedis first digital subscription at your nearest GN Bank. Just walk in with your UN number, which you can find by pressing CAS on your remote. Please pay now to avoid disconnection. Call 0243 002222 for more information. First Digital, for the Ghanaian in you.
Is to vote electronically in new multi-million city chamber. They complain of high technology consoles. 30,000 homosexuals in Ghana, 17% living with HIV and AIDS, statistics reveal. And Akweteman residents cry for help as the only footbridge in the area near collapse. And on the international front, Pistorius prosecutors challenge shockingly light sentence. Now, we bring you all these and more in the next 60 minutes, and also an update of the situation in Nkwanta South, where the deceased district chief executive was shot dead yesterday evening. Good evening to you. Welcome to the news here on First TV, on your First Digital Television, and it's live from our studios here in Accra. We're also live across the country on some selected platforms. My name is Alfredo Conce. Now, to our first story this evening, Chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, President John Mahama, is expected to leave Accra for Burkina Faso on Wednesday morning to attempt to help end the political unrest in that country. Vice President Pakushimi Sasa is also out of the country on an official assignment in India. Now, and this means that the Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honorable Do Ajaho, will be sworn in as President later tomorrow by the Chief Justice. This was made known in Parliament by the Speaker himself after he read a letter from the presidency announcing the departure of the President.
The Speaker of Parliament will thus perform the roles of President until President Mahama returns in the evening of Wednesday. This is to be done in accordance with the 1992 Constitution, which stipulates that the position of President of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces must not be at any point be left vacant. According to First Digital News parliamentary correspondent, the Speaker asked for a debate on some aspects of the Constitution regarding what should happen in the absence of both the President and the Vice President from the jurisdiction. Burkina Faso is presently under the control of military after the nation's President, Blaise Compaoré, resigned last Friday. His resignation came after 5 days of protests from Burkinabe citizens against his attempt to amend the nation's constitution to extend his 27-year rule. The African Union AU has ordered the military to hand over power to a civilian in 2 weeks, insisting that the takeover under the leadership of Lieutenant Colonel Isaac Zida was unconstitutional. ECOWAS has also called for restraint to ensure existing situation does not exacerbate.
From Ghana. In accordance with Article 59 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, I write to inform you that as Chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, I shall lead a delegation of head of state to the Republic of Burkina Faso on Wednesday, 5th November 2014, to mediate in the political impasse there. I shall return to Ghana in the evening of the same day. During my absence from Ghana, and in the absence of His Excellency the Vice President, you shall, in accordance with Article 60, Clause 11 of the Constitution, act in my stead. By a copy of this letter, the attention of the Honorable Chief Justice is being drawn to the requirement of Article 60, Clause 12 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Kindly accept right honorable the assurances of my highest consideration. Signed, John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. Copy to the Honorable Chief Justice. Honorable members, if it's only for some few hours, is it necessary for the? Is it necessary?
No, so well, as it stands, tomorrow we would have a new president, for that matter. Edward Joa Ajaho, the Speaker of Parliament, will be sworn in tomorrow as the caretaker president in the absence of the president and the vice president. But let's still stay with Parliament now. And Parliament resumed for the third meeting of the second session of the 6th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana after over 3 months of recess. In welcoming members to the House newly configured chamber, the Speaker, Right Honorable Doa Ajaho, thanked God for seeing to all members during the long recess period and also bringing them back safely. He prayed the Lord Almighty will continue to show more of his message to them throughout the session. And members of Parliament, led by the leaders indeed, took turns to appreciate the new look of the Legislative House.
The amusement for coming back into a newly configured chamber was obvious among both members of the minority and majority as they enjoyed the new executive leather chairs and electronically advanced tables. The Speaker, in welcoming members to the newly refurbished chamber, hoped the installed gadgets in the House will go a long way to enhance their work as MPs. He, however, notified the House that members are yet to be trained on the use of the newly installed gadget, as he commended the contractor for a good job done. He was excited that all the old facilities in the chamber.
Indeed, reconfiguring the chamber involved the replacement of the old, larger size wooden tables and chairs with new, smaller size electronic workstations, microphones, and chairs. This enabled the expansion of the seating capacity and eliminated the earlier discomfort experienced by members, resulting from crowding 275 members in seating space designed for 230 members. We now have new chairs replacing the about 20-year-old ones, new robotic video cameras for televising Parliament, new extra large television and voting screen displays, new carpets, new ceiling, new chandelier, and more. The replacement of the air conditioning units with new ones is ongoing. The washrooms have been expanded, and for the first time, provision made for use by physically challenged persons. Similarly, for the first time, provision has been made for the physically challenged persons to enter and exit the chamber. These are in compliance with the provisions of Persons with Disability Act 2006 at 715. Other members, the computer consoles on your tables have been installed with legislative software and have the capacity to ensure that various parliamentary papers can be accessed by you whilst in the House. These include the other papers, votes and proceedings, committee reports, bills, etc. It will also enable you to electronically express your vote if required. Our intention is to reduce to the barest minimum the cost of stationery and printing items. I have, in consultation with the leadership and the clerk to Parliament, decided that an orientation program be conducted to introduce and train members on the use of these new electronic gadgets starting today after the sitting of the House.
For once, the minority leader, Honorable Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, showed gratitude to the government and leadership of Parliament for reconfiguring the chamber to the highest international standard. It was his quest that the House will as well be financially resourced to work effectively.
I think I should also use this opportunity to thank all of us for the collective efforts that have culminated in what we see today. Speaker, the setting today provides the Parliament of Ghana a real parliamentary ambience. The tables, the ICT gadgets, the chairs all combine to provide us with the perspectives of a real parliament. The color of the chairs, the backrest in particular, may be a veritable impediment to those of us who want to further enhance the creativity of God Almighty. Speaker, I speak in particular of those of us who are used to bodyworks, in particular adding to what should be the natural coloration of their hair. Speaker, I believe the color of the backrest will be quite hostile to such people who engage in that exercise.
The majority leader, Honorable Abang Bagbin, in his maiden welcome statement, called for the full cooperation of all members so they can complete all businesses scheduled for this session.
You can see a new face of the parliamentary chamber, and it's a prayer of all of us that this will be a good beginning for us to try as a country to invest in Parliament as the bulwark of democracy in any society.
So that indeed gives you details of exactly how Parliament looks like now after that refurbishment. You saw or heard both the majority and the minority leaders expressing their gratitude and satisfaction about the new look of Parliament and also some of the gadgets that have been installed. But some members of Parliament are complaining about the sophisticated nature of some of the gadgets that have been installed in Parliament. And they're going to be voting electronically now, so there will not be so much of shouting and raising of hands. And they expressed their, indeed, views about this whole new look of Parliament. To our parliamentary correspondent, we'll be playing that to you very, very shortly. But let's move away a bit from Parliament into issues where the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, has expressed disgust at the haphazard manner in which government is distributing oil money on non-existent road projects. About 37.2 million Ghana cedis from Ghana's oil revenue cash in 2013 was spent on roads projects, according to a report released by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. Now, a member of the committee, Richmond Ejekumhene, spoke exclusively to First News on the issues raised in the report.
According to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee report, about 68% of the annual budget funding was channeled into the road sector for the construction of roads and other related projects, despite the huge sums of money made from the toll booths and other grants in the country. Most roads continue to be in very bad conditions. Meanwhile, government is yet to complete the Accra-Kumasi Road after several years of being under construction. In July 2014, residents of Manhia in the Greater Accra region also demonstrated over the bad nature of their roads. PIAC, however, recommended that government should ensure that allocations of the ABFA to road and other infrastructure projects are prioritized to make a meaningful impact in the budget year in which such allocations are made, in order that such projects may be completed in a much shorter period of time to avoid any cost escalations. According to a member of the committee and Chief Executive Officer of Kite Ghana, Ishmael Ajikumhini, the report smacks of serious concerns about the usage of revenue accruing from the oil exploration.
I think it's the issue about how the key issue for me is how the oil revenues have been spent so far. We don't have a problem as to accounting for the money, but what we've actually used the money for. And it's been stretched so thinly on so many things that it's very difficult to measure any impact. You have road projects that you have the money supporting only about a fraction of that, and when you do that, there's very little you could. So we think that if you look at that report and you look at the annex of the report, all the projects are there, and you look at it and you realize that as a people we need to change our strategy for using the oil revenue. Otherwise, you have nothing to show by the time the resources are gone. So just take a good look at it, and then we can talk when you have specific questions. Okay. It says that the minister will have to prioritize 4 areas, okay, and which they have done. But they have, what they've done is that they have 4 broad categories, and then they are doing so many things under each category. So even though the law says that you can't do more than 4, we find ourselves spending money in all the 12 areas that the law says they could spend money. But to Parliament, they will tell us they're focusing on 4 areas, when in actual fact, everything. They're doing infrastructure, but if a road is 100 million and you use only 1 million cedis and you spread it all over the country, if I have my own way, we should select one major project. If, for example, we say that our road network linking southern and northern Ghana is bad, it's because all these heavy trucks are spoiling the roads. So let's build a railway line from Accra to let's say the border town of if that's all that oil money can do, let's do that. But we can't do school, we can't do health, everything spread all over the regions, and then the impact is 0.
On to some other stories where some news coming in. The 12 labor unions striking over the management of the Tier 2 pension funds have called off their almost 2-week-old strike. Now, according to the agitated unions, some of their members have been served with an ex parte motion or order to do so. The court ruled in favor of government last Friday but the unions say they had not been served and would continue to strike. But a press briefing which just came through earlier today, the Forum for Public Sector Registered Occupational Pension Schemes said they would comply with the court order. And just read a brief of the statement. It says, "We are law-abiding citizens and have decided to obey the court order from today. But we want to re-emphasize that the suspension of the strike does not mark the end of the struggle." So, in as much as they've called off the strike, as per the statement that has just been issued, they are still going to go on with the struggle. And we're going to be speaking to one of the members of one of the 12 unions that went on strike, specifically the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, the head of public affairs of NAT, to find out what exactly the details of this latest stance is, as they've decided to call off their strike and continue with the struggle. Stay with us in the bulletin. Still watching the news here on First TV. Now, let's go on to some more stories where, with the news of coming through with respect to the death or the murder of the district chief executive of Nkwanta South, and the latest we are getting is that the police have arrested 8 people who are suspected to have masterminded that heinous crime yesterday evening. And as you may rightly be aware, the district chief executive for Nkwanta South in the Volta region, Peter Kojo Kinyoso, indeed was shot yesterday evening. And the member of parliament for the constituency, Gershon Bediame, is saying that the 8 people who have been arrested so far are being interrogated by the police.
Honorable Gershon Bediame said the incident occurred around 5:30 p.m. local time. I was with him in his office the whole of the day, but I left around 5:30 p.m. to return home. I heard the news he was shot dead the moment I arrived at my destination. He said he had been visiting some centers in the Nkwanta township with the late DCE. Gershon Bediame said he was informed via telephone that the DCE was shot at close range while approaching the gate to his house and was pronounced dead on arrival at a hospital after being rushed there by his aides. Asked if the crime might have been committed by armed robbers, the MP said, "I am not sure because it was like somebody ambushed him and shot him the moment he alighted from his car." Mr. Bediame added that while in Nkwanta, he did not pick any signal that there was tension in the district which might have led to the shooting to death of the government appointee. "I couldn't imagine that someone I was with less than 2 years ago could be reported dead." The police command and the military, he said, were on the way to keep the peace in Nkwanta. Located in the northernmost part, the Nkwanta South District is one of the 20 municipalities and districts in the Volta region of Ghana. It was inaugurated on February 28, 2008, with Nkwanta as its capital.
So, the Member of Parliament for Nkwanta South, the Honorable Gershon Bediame, will be joining us on the telephone very, very shortly, just to get an update of this particular situation as we're hearing from Nkwanta South. But the headmaster has just spread our tentacles beyond the borders of Accra and get into the western region, where the headmaster and pupils of the Diado Methodist Basic School in the western region have made a call to government to help renovate the school. Now, the school is faced with perennial floods each time it rains, disrupting school activities because of the dilapidated nature of the structures they study in. First TV Western Regional Correspondent Simona Hinson gathered that when it rains, school activities come to a halt and students have to evacuate the classrooms for safety.
Government's struggle to provide quality education for every Ghanaian child seems to be far from reality. Basic infrastructural developments for most schools across the country have not been provided. First TV News has gathered that schools like Mempasem, Abokobi SDA in the Greater Accra region, among others, have been faced with floods and lack basic infrastructural needs. In Takoradi, First TV's Western Regional Correspondent gathered that the Beduado Methodist Basic School is faced with perennial floods after every downpour. The school, which has over the years been supported by the Parents Teachers Association, is calling on government to renovate the structures the students study in. The news team gathered that the rains disrupt school activities and students are forced to move out of the classrooms to seek for shelter under trees located on the compound till the rain ceases. Speaking exclusively to First TV News in Takoradi, some of the students told the news team the ordeal they go through during the rainy season and called on government for support.
Students in whether you have a part of them, so learning or my education on Code of Apprenticeship yesterday, and you got own media or our brain this year because in Sweden not to hey, you better not to be as you better not to say, Oma addition on Code of class in dinner another day. The Bassan of our winner or child to Oma on Code of Now, you should prepare your school, you face challenges. One, young classrooms are flooded. Why the mayor is standing in small stay away party with some things. Yes, second, in school building on yet also no cost flooded and see a point or one more when now, ever school building most years still oil about sea buildings. The second floor oil companies. It's yesterday, one more when they want because school is so last year we made 100%, but still remember
the assistant headmaster of the school, Mr. Ruben Kofiche, lamented that students are unable to write their exams when it rains. According to him, approximately 29,000 is needed to facilitate the construction of the school. However, he said the PTA has been able to raise 10,000 Ghana cedis. He also called on government to help them raise the needed amount to refurbish the school.
There was a crowd, parents who want to make a crowd. It's almost support. They will Sabusa crowd of one boy who is the guy, the big Kakra. A contract of government estimating also 29,000. It's an answer 10,000 or it was 90,000. Come over my estimating also 29,000. That's an answer 10,000. It's a contract over your mind.
Okay, so here, this is First News here on First TV on your First Television. Let's go on to the telephone now and speak to the Member of Parliament for Nkwanta South, the Honorable Gershon Bediame, to get some updates of the situation. Honorable, good evening to you.
Fine, how are you?
I'm doing well. Honorable, how about you, sir?
Well, I'm fine, but so sad.
Obviously, Honorable, you're mourning now, I can understand, and our condolences to you. Our condolences to you, Honorable, upon the loss of your district chief executive. But what is the situation now? What's the update to this particular heinous crime that was committed yesterday evening?
Yeah, well, what happened? That earlier this morning, even at dawn, we received a contingent of the police and the military detachment from Bo and Accra, and their presence on the ground is heavy and it has maintained peace, so that an easy calm in the town, only you see people standing in groups and everybody is asking why, what happened, who should have done this and all those things. But the ambulance, there's been an ambulance that has been sent from Accra to convey the body to Accra. So this evening or any dawn, they will convey the body to Accra. So basically, the police are on the ground and they are doing their own investigation. And they are the people who will be able to give you the security aspect of their investigation. And if you would mind, I can give you the commander, the district commander's number, so that for further maybe investigation of the security aspect, you will be able to tell you.
Very well. Honorable, we will definitely follow up with the district commander of the Nkwanta South District Police. But how many people have been arrested? We're hearing very inconsistent numbers. So if you could just tell us exactly.
Yeah, honestly, I was not in town when they were arrested. I was in my village and I went there this morning because I left there yesterday night around 5:30. So I get 7 people have been suspects. I don't know on what basis they were suspects. Therefore, 7 people were apprehended. That's what information gave me. Maybe whatever they did, maybe the authorities do rather better on that.
Hello, Honorable. If I get you right, you're saying that 7 people have been arrested per your information that you have.
Yes. And I'm saying that I don't know the basis of the suspicion for which they were taken. Because I was not in the town yesterday. Even if I were in town, I wouldn't have the intelligence support they had, which enabled them to take the people that they did. So as I'm speaking to you personally, I don't know them. So, but they have been taken, I don't know whether to Accra or today. So the difference of practice can be best told by the district commander.
Okay. Definitely.
You have to give you his number so that I can get more details from him.
Wonderful, Honorable. We will follow up with the commander. But
my main concern is the security of the people at the town.
Absolutely.
And to avoid any possible clashes.
No.
Whatever has happened has happened. We only have to avoid any unforeseen circumstances. Therefore, we are taking every precaution to ensure that there is absolute peace and stability in the town so that everybody can go about his or her work peacefully.
Okay, Honorable. Now, I was just about asking you the atmosphere in Nkwanta South now as we speak.
Right now, there's no agitation from any quartet. We have talked to everybody to keep calm and allow the government agencies to do their work. Nobody should take the law into their own hands, and thankfully, nobody has ever done that from the time that the man was shot till now. As I'm speaking to you, nobody has taken arms or nobody has made any action to show that they want to, there's any reprisal attack. And thankfully, like I told you, the heavy presence of the military and the police is also another factor that actually many people even fear to even come out and walk on the street. So many people are indoors and a few people just walking about. And of course, if you don't have anything doing, you will not find yourself walking about on the street. Otherwise, you have questions to answer.
Wonderful. Honorable, now, finally, would you, in your capacity, a member of parliament, advocate for some security for district chief executives? Now, we've been talking about security for MPs and all. This man was shot in cold blood by some assailants when he was alighting from his vehicle, as we're told, without any security. With this that has happened.
This has come up time again. Myself, like I told them, I was a victim to an armed robbery attack.
Absolutely.
And from there, we made the appeal that we also need some police protection because we are exposed to so many people in society. The competition, you know, politics is sort of competition. You have so many people who are competing with you, and of course, in any competition, if you are defeated, you don't take it so kindly, so it will take time to you. So you don't know who are your enemies, who are your friends, what are people thinking about you. And in so far as we are doing public work, like the ministers, we think that we also need protection because it is a huge cost to the state if we should lose any of that people, either MP, minister, or DP. I don't know. But the issue has always been that we cannot marshal this number of police people for security guards with our politicians.
Very well.
So, well, it's a debate we have to throw into the air and let everybody talk about it and let's see the best way out.
Very well. Honorable, now, finally, I recall that you were also a victim of a robbery, but very finally, before I let you go, here's a situation where you've cited some instances. Do you have any suspicion of what exactly could have influenced this action that happened yesterday with the murder of this DC?
Not the least.
You do not have any suspicion?
I said not the least suspicion because, I was in the constituency at the weekend where we had a 40 years anniversary celebration of the secondary school in the town, that's in Kanta Secondary School,
right,
of which the late VP was a member, and therefore all the old students were there in their numbers. After the program, we even invited them to come to his house for a reception. So everybody was about. So yesterday I was with him in the office. He never mentioned any threat of the class to me. So I cannot guess any reason why it should be shot. And the way it happened, I can't even have a clue to whatever.
Okay. Honorable, our condolences to you, and we'll definitely follow up with the police for some more updates. Thank you so much. Great. And that's a very, very sad member of parliament there speaking to us. The Honorable Gershon Bediame. He is a member of parliament for the Nkwanta South constituency and the district chief executive who was shot dead yesterday evening. And that's the member of parliament who superintends over that particular constituency within which that district is. We'll definitely get the police's perspective of what's happening now. As you rightly heard, there's a combined military police presence patrolling the town to ensure that there are no reprisal attacks of anybody who's suspected. We're told that 7 people have been arrested on suspicion of being the ones behind this particular crime. Still watching the news here on First TV. We will be back shortly after this quick break with some more stories. Don't go away.
You can now pay your 20 Ghana Cedis First digital subscription at your nearest GN Bank. Just walk in with your UN number, which you can find by pressing CAS on your remote. Please pay now to avoid disconnection. Call 0243 002222 for more information. First Digital, for the Ghanaian in you.
This is Nane Foa. She's thinking about how to cover her university education in the future. Mr. Sari is so confused about how to list his company on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Atta is an organizer and is wondering how to expand his business someday.
Do you want to buy shares on the Ghana Stock Exchange? Or probably sell your shares? Are you interested in investing in treasury bills? Have you been thinking about listing your company on the Ghana Stock Exchange? Talk to GN Investment today. You can reach GN Investment on 030-9788-3819.
Effort's parents learned from GN Investment how they can invest money to pay for her university tuition. GN Investment helps Mr. Sari with market research, company valuation, and how to list his company on the Ghana Stock Exchange. GN Investments visits Atta and advises him on how to grow his small business.
At GN Investment, we proudly say that we invest with discipline.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Idris Sajjad Topo. Pre-revolutionary stage. People can rebel before a revolution should happen.
So as long as Muslims come out and they mount the rostrum or the pulpit and preach peace, we should exemplify peace.
I mean, we could see this, I mean, example, what the prophet himself does. When it comes to the last 10 days, he entered into seclusion.
So the price of Laylatul Qadr is, as Allah mentioned, khayrun min alf shahr.
Watch me this and every Friday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. as I bring to you your favorite and most educative religious talk show, Islamic Insight, on Faith TV. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Welcome back to the news here on First TV on your First Digital Television. Now, residents along the fishing communities in the central region are living in fear of the Ebola scourge following the arrival in droves of fishermen returning home from the expedition in Liberia. Now, the 17 fishermen who arrived home from the expedition in Liberia have said that they actually usually come to fix their boats in Elmina. And the details of this story was made available by our partner station, Ocean One Television in Elmina.
The Ebola endemic, which has claimed 7,000 lives across Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria and Guinea, has over the period sent shivers down the spines of West Africans. The disease has about a 90% fatality rate and is transmitted by direct contact with the blood, body fluids and tissues of infected animals or people. The arrival of 17 Ghanaian fishermen from Liberia to Elmina has caused fear among residents. According to the chief fisherman of the area, Nana Konu, it was imperative to get them screened.
Onya yelba ode tutunasi nti na ya hu meeting ya ne ADC ya hu meeting na ye aso atutu ye onu atutu mpa na the union no ganafo wo ha na wo kwama na ade wo kaye adwuma no yintum yan kan da ya mo mba Ghana wo ba bia Ghana na wo baba na wa be ode ya from one I mean apofun me from one me jo ma DC Dr. Siba na ya hwehwe wo mbugem techesi dia ye be bia ni biare no ma say yebo binimu no ba na me apofon me ni disi yan ye dem hwehwem na nipa kotin yebo mo geba ahalepe asam kasaba.
When Ocean One News interacted with one of the fishermen, this is what he said.
From after Augustine, me nyefa adwuma me wala Liberia you su boat no ho a boat no se photo ba ho e de bagana.
So they have been cleared of any suspicions of carrying the Ebola and the virus into Ghana. Let's now go for our critical line segment. In our critical lens segment tonight, the only footbridge connecting Akwetiman and Achimota, all in the Blinkuma North constituency of the Greater Accra region, is fast becoming a death trap rather than serving the purpose it was constructed. First TV News learned that the two metal rails supporting the footbridge has been knocked off by an unknown trailer driver who, according to residents, was trying to make a U-turn. Bright Joka is my colleague and the anchor of the critical lens segment tonight, and he visited that location to ascertain the details of exactly what the case is.
Anti-Koko Bridge, as it is affectionately called, perhaps because it is located in the Anti-Koko area of Akwetiman. It serves as a shortcut for both residents of Akwetiman and Achimota, and also other surrounding communities. Anti-Koko Bridge was constructed with persons with disability in mind, but with its present state, persons with disability have stopped using the bridge and resort to using alternative routes, forcing them to spend almost 1 hour 30 minutes on a journey which hitherto should have taken them 20 minutes to make. Traders, the aged, and children who do not have the courage to use the bridge have to find alternative routes to get to their destination. For over a month now, the bridge has been in its present state. Parents have to escort their wards to school each day and back. Madame Elizabeth Akutu is the proprietress of Mama Lizzie Daycare. She narrated to us how a child was using the broken metals as a swing.
Because when to many name Apaladio Peso or Air Force no near possible. Into one for name Chemua, or go to meet or Shemua. Last Nanya member and make us a school for Kubat. The Musa Colebitsi, Adianusua, go to the nine, go to the nine side, or first on also, go to Nago. It's a minimum so much teacher, this one professor. And be bad. The boy was having chair, but because it says schools no much a lot of criminal idea, and its parents never saw what they were banning, ever hand so. Now, more bad, bridge never had me say. Yes, Shani, I don't want a crossing. And no paper, my summa, my aquafam, Palani, Eddie. It is a more road in my first day, any budget passage. There's a 1 hour more action water. Any overhead in nature, or more ban. The better me up wow.
This woman, who sells rice just at the foot of the bridge, also told First TV News how a man who was drunk fell from the bridge and has to be rescued.
They say, I my man cry. To Mamma, my wife, they say, Nano Croby, but Tom. Maya, why any of the any of Coyino, and yes, Ram bleeding it dear, and one I couldn't faso, I'm a child, Grand Faso Coast Square, dangerous. Oh, a mom cost to Cadio from 1.5 going. Mama Lizzie Daycare, Muko Square, as soon as one nam. Madame Foy, I want to look at no mudding cranity. A book crown, no motif, no more coffee, Madame for no more. Yani ever so moo, none about bacteria, yani a farm. Payimupa, no one, no one, sir. Eh, got a mu one. And now some good too. 8 years, someone winning who do my wife, the Pamuchapa, wife.
When I inquired from both adults and children who use Antikoko Bridge daily, they all said the bridge is no longer safe.
Oh, very bad. It's very, very, very bad. So I'm pleading to the authorities that they should do something about it for us. Because, yes, I see children using. You know, we have a daycare over there. They also use it. And then everybody around also use it. So I think something should be done about it.
Christiana, Christiana, do you use this bridge? Yes. It's my school.
How old are you?
9 years.
And how do you feel?
It's not bad.
It's normal. Aren't you afraid when you're using it?
Yes. Crossing it, because you can easily fall inside.
Look at it and talk,
Because you can easily fall inside. So when I'm crossing it, I pass here to school, but now I've changed my way. I pass here.
Clearly, my colleague Bright Joker, they're interacting with those children, and they know the danger that this particular bridge is posing. We have exposed it, and we'll follow through to the authorities to indeed find out what they're doing about this very dangerous situation there. Let's now go for our pension tips for tonight.
The third-tier voluntary provident fund and personal pension schemes supported by tax benefit incentives to provide additional funds for workers who want to have voluntary contributions to enhance their pension benefits, as well as workers in the informal sector. The first-year basic National Social Security Scheme will be managed by a reconstructed SSNIT.
Pension Tips is brought to you by PenTrust. Call them for all your Tier 2 and 3 pension plans on 0302 901 500 or 0501 291 030. PenTrust, discipline.
Let's now go for some business news. And in business this evening, World Bank Group President Jim Yong Kim has downplayed the economic challenges in Ghana, stressing it is normal and not unique. Dr. Kim shared this observation when he paid a courtesy call on Vice President Park Oshie-Mensah at the Flagstaff House here in Accra. Now, Dr. Kim is in Ghana to reaffirm World Bank's commitment in the fight against Ebola, which has racked the West African sub-region.
In terms of Ghana, we work extremely closely with Ghana, and we're working also in close collaboration with the IMF. My own view of Ghana is that there are some challenges right now in the economy. There is the need for fiscal consolidation, while at the same time we need to make investments so that the economy can grow. This is a challenge that many economies in the world are facing, including in Europe. So this is not unique to Ghana, but we're now providing intensive support for example, the Ghana Infrastructure Facility, where we're trying to ensure that investments in growth-enhancing infrastructure continue to be made while necessary fiscal consolidation also happens. And we know that it's possible, it's complex, but we are not going to take our eye off the ball in terms of supporting the Ghanaian economy.
Still in business tonight, Finance Minister Setepo is likely to present the 2015 budget to Parliament by November 20. This is, however, subject to the approval of Parliament. Federal Business News gathered from its sources close to the Finance Committee of Parliament that despite the current negotiations with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, government can still go ahead with the budget presentation.
There were fears initially that, because of the current negotiations with the IMF, government might not be able to meet the constitutional requirement which enjoins it to present the budget at least a month before the beginning of the implementation of that new budget. But according to persons close to the preparation of the budget, government can still go ahead because it can reach some agreements with the IMF even in the middle of the negotiations. This means government can go ahead with its economic policy and financial statements for 2015. But for some economists, the government's biggest challenge for next year will be how to check its rising expenditure in the face of labor agitations for higher wages as well as calls for complete infrastructure projects. However, for those working on the budget, the challenge facing government...
Okay, so let's find out how the cedi is faring against some major currencies on the forex market. Let's now go for some sport news with Akosua Amoah.
You're welcome to the sports segment of the news with me, Akosua Amoah. And in sports this evening, lovers of boxing will have the opportunity of watching one more exciting bout, that first of Feast Ferry come December 5th, when George Ashi takes on Tanzanian opponent Alan Komote in an interim WBO lightweight championship. Speaking at the official press launch of the bout, the chief executive officer of the Box Office Promotions, Alex Ntiamwa, said his outfit is determined to take the boxing in Ghana to its highest level.
We are here to let the public know about the bout that is happening on December 6th, of which George the Red Tiger is the main bout of the night. He'll be fighting a Namibia opponent, a Tanzania opponent, Alan Komote, who is a UBO world champion. So it's going to be a very high-profile fight of the night. For some time now, Box Office Sports Promotions has taken upon themselves that with the talent of boxing that we have got in this country, especially from the Bukom, of which I happen to be a member of that community, want to take boxing to the next level. We are here today to let the public know that December 5th is happening here at Accra Sports Stadium.
While still in boxing, in a related development, George Ashi, who is billed to fight on the 9th, has promised to knock out his opponent Alan Komote. Speaking at the launch of the bout, George said he has watched the opponent and will prepare adequately for the fight.
First of all, I'll come to the promoter. The promoter, McDonald and box office, Alex Ntiamwa, for today what they have done for me, and I support I support them, that what they have done for me, I think I'll prove to them that I can make it, and I'll make it for them, because now they have given me a big opponent, and I like it, and I've watched I've watched my opponent clip in YouTube.
So that's it for sports this evening with me, Akosi Amoah. Entertainment news is up next with Grace Asari.
Good evening. Welcome to the entertainment segment of the news. My name is Grace Hamo Asari. Moving on to first story, all is set for the much-awaited Ochame Kwame's live musical concert dubbed Ochame Kwame's Versatile Show, and fans have been promised of a first-hand presentation of the Rap Doctor's new album, on which he features Nigeria's Jay Martins.
Ochame, an electrifying live performer whose latest releases are already making waves on the airwaves on the world music market as wild crowds into stage crowds and dancing skills. Over the years, Ochame Kwame has established himself as one of the best musicians in Ghana and beyond. For 16 years and counting, his music has continuously inspired and massively won the hearts of all. It usually focuses on affairs of love, life and family. He is expected to rock the stage alongside some selected celebrities like Ajit Anand, Echo Smith Asante, One Love Kubolo, Benjamin Kwade, Adina, Samini, Keche, Percy, Pearl, Brothers, Edeb, E.L., Prior Eugene, Choir Master, Ben Bracco, and a host of others. This year's edition of the show, according to the Rap Doctor, would be historic.
And still in the music industry, gospel musician Ama Bwahima has been forced to respond to rumors about her skin color. This was after her supposedly before and after picture hit social media, which showed a sharp contrast in her skin color. She appears with a ghostly white face. Some media websites and blogs have posted earlier photos of the gospel singer to prove she is bleaching. The Buekwai Mami and Eradewo Beko hitmaker has been lambasted for succumbing to the pleasures of the world and changing her dark skin color to white. But in an exclusive interview with German-based journalist Francis Frimpong Manson, also known as Nkoswahin, Ama Bwahima blamed the change of her skin color to excessive intake of milk and the weather in Europe. Conceding that her skin complexion has lightened over the years, she stated emphatically that it has nothing to do with bleaching. "I am not bleaching. My present skin tone is because I drink a lot of milk. I even recommended the cream I used to a friend, and she suddenly became dark," she added. She insisted she will not change her God-given color for anything in the world. Ama Bwahima urged her fans not to be disappointed because she might revert to her normal color when she returns to Ghana.
Nti me call me ma me na me coach no say me catch me sama me wo ye ni strength bi a me ye kokko no so ma me fam kun wi e ma ko try me so hwe me stress en kun no beginning na ase me nya me kala me pe say me tuntum no ba na eni da ho the stress be 2 months na fe na me ye kokko
And we've had a lot of skin bleaching issues lately in the entertainment industry. Yvonne Nelson says hers is due to the use of cocoa butter, and Ama Bwahima says hers is used to excessive intake of milk. So maybe you out there will also want to take a critical look at what you're eating and the type of cream you're using, and so that you're not in the media, and then so that people start making noise about you. And then that's it for entertainment. My name is Grace Hama Asari.
But Grace, before you go, a quick one. So this is as a result of what?
Excessive
drinking of milk.
Milk, yeah.
We've got to be drinking a lot of milk
to
look fairer than we're looking
yes.
now.
Maybe we have to contact her to send us the brand of the milk she's
Absolutely,
taking.
because the kind of milk we're drinking is making us darker in Africa. So we go for the weather updates this evening. Well, on the international front this evening, South Africa's prosecutors have sought permission to appeal against athlete Oscar Pistorius' shockingly light sentence, court papers show. Last month, Pistorius began serving a 5-year prison sentence for the culpable homicide of Reba Steenkamp, although he could also be out in 10 months. Now, the sentence failed to consider the horrendous manner in which Ms. Steenkamp was killed, prosecutors said, and that's a very, very sad development for the athlete there. But let's go to Zambia, where Zambia's interim president, Guy Scott, has reinstated Defense Minister and presidential hopeful Edgar Lungu to a powerful governing party post. Ms. Lungu has said his sacking was illegal and highly provocative at the time of mourning for President Michael Sata, who died last week. That's it for the news this evening. Came to you live from our studios here in Accra. But before we go, let's just take a recap of some of the stories that made topical headlines. MPs to vote electronically, but they complain of high technical of the console that has been installed. 30,000 homosexuals in Ghana, 17 living with HIV and AIDS. Akwetiman residents cry for help, a footbridge in the area near collapse. And on the international front, Pistorius prosecutors challenge shockingly light sentence. It's been a teamwork this evening, and on behalf of the rest of the team, thank you for watching, and join us again tomorrow morning at exactly 6 a.m. as we bring you some updated news. And log on to our news website, www.firstdigitalghana.com, for some more news. Keep watching First Digital TV with all the channels giving you exclusive packages tonight. Walk into any GN Bank branch with 170 Ghana cedis as you get your First Digital decoder. You're just paying 20 Ghana cedis every month for the exclusive quality channels that you have. My name is Alfred Okanse. Good evening.